Hi guys, this is the next part of What If Gohan Never Stopped Training. I hope you enjoy it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe as it helps me a lot and to ensure you never miss another exciting story. Chi-Chi listened to Goten's laughter ringing out from the bathroom. Gohan was giving him his bath, and from the sounds, she was fairly certain Goten was trying his best to drown his brother. Deciding to take advantage of the boy's distraction, she walked outside. On the far side of the yard, Piccolo leaned against a tree, his arms crossed over his chest. He was waiting for Gohan to finish helping his little brother. Chi-Chi had actually given the kid permission to spend his weekend training. While Piccolo was uncertain what had brought about her sudden change in attitude, he found himself strangely grateful for it. Hearing the door open, he looked up in time to the woman in question, who started walking towards him. He straightened from the tree, waiting. Chi-Chi stood before the imposing figure of her son's best friend. Taking a deep breath, she looked up at him, meeting his eyes. "I need to apologize to you, Piccolo." In a rare moment of complete surprise, Piccolo dropped his arms, his eyes widening. Chi-Chi tried not to smile. She had never seen that look on his face before. "I may never completely forgive you for taking Gohan away, but you do deserve my respect for everything you have done for him since then. It may take me some time to feel comfortable around you, but you are welcome here." Piccolo could feel Gohan's shock, pleasure, and pride coursing through him. After all this time, neither had ever expected Chi-Chi to accept him. Opening his mouth to respond, Piccolo was cut off by Krillin. "Piccolo, something's wrong. Dende wants everyone on the lookout now. Grab Gohan and hurry," Krillin shouted, landing near the two. Having heard Krillin through Piccolo, Gohan came barreling out of the house. He held a slightly damp, but clean and dressed Goten. He, on the other hand, was soaking wet and still in his pajamas. Responding to Gohan's silent request, Piccolo zapped his traditional gi and shoes onto his friend. Nodding his thanks, he turned to his mother, handing Goten to her. "Call Nimbus and meet us at the lookout." Chi-Chi never had a chance to answer as the three blasted off, answering the call of the Earth's guardian. One by one, all of the Z warriors gathered upon the lookout. Vegeta had arrived first, carrying Bulma, with Trunks flying proudly beside his father. Tien and Xiaosu landed next, followed closely by Yamcha. Barely a moment passed before Piccolo, Krillin, and Gohan's feet touched the tiled courtyard. Finally, a small yellow cloud bearing Chi-Chi and Goten came to a halt. Everyone turned to Dende expectantly, jumping slightly when King Kai spoke instead. "Dende, the evil you sensed is not on Earth, but it will eventually threaten it and everything else." King Kai said, his voice was hesitant, as though loath to continue. "Would someone explain why I am here instead of in my gravity room if there is no one on Earth to battle?" Vegeta demanded irritably. He hated long drawn-out explanations and simply wanted the Kai to get on with it. As everyone was used to his antics, the outburst was ignored. "On New Namek, there is a man, a remnant from Frieza's army, his name is Mayboy." King Kai was interrupted. "Ha ha ha, you called us all out here for that. Mayboy is a low-power clown with only a single trick." Vegeta brayed loudly. "What trick?" Yamcha asked. "He can possess the mind of a single being, as long as they are weaker than he is. He can then force them into his servitude." Vegeta said disdainfully. "King Kai, are the other Nameks alright?" Dende asked. Sighing, King Kai continued, "No Dende, they are not. That low-power clown, as you put it Vegeta, used the Dragon Balls. His power is enormous, higher than anything you have ever faced. More than that, he has enslaved the minds of the entire planet. They are completely under his control, bending to his every want." Dende gasped quietly. "Is he still on the planet?" Gohan asked. "Yes, and with the Namekian people under his control, he will be able to use the Dragon Balls again and again." "Well, I missed Namek the first time around, I'm in," Yamcha shouted. Tien and Xiaosu quickly stepped forward as well. "No, it won't work. The moment you step foot on the planet, he'll gain control of your mind, you will become his slave." King Kai said. "Well, we have to do something. We can't just." Krillin trailed off, Gohan and Piccolo's actions catching his eye. Slowly, everyone else turned as well. The two appeared to be having an argument, judging by Gohan's abrupt hand motions and Piccolo's body language, but they weren't speaking. "There is no way in hell you are going alone, kid. Why are you being so stubborn?" "I'll be okay, it's my family I'm worried about. If you stay, forget it. Besides, we don't know if that kind of distance will affect our mental protection. What happens if he takes you over?" "Piccolo, No, not happening. Then who will look after them? I will not allow Goten to be responsible for their safety, he's just a kid. One of the others can stay with them. We, and I do mean we, will go. Fine. Gohan tugged his hands irritably through his long mane, glaring at Piccolo. I don't like the idea of taking one of Bulma's spaceships. Not only the time it will take to travel, but also we will be surrounded the instant we land. That just leaves the Dragon Balls, but you do realize we'll be stuck until the Namekian balls recharge. Of course I know that. Why else would I be concerned about my family being alone? This will not be a quick trip. Growling lightly, Piccolo waited for Gohan to rein in his temper. He knew the thought of leaving his mother and brother alone was killing Gohan. Images of him being alone and left behind as a child, having to fight in his father's place, flooded Piccolo's mind. Taking a cleansing breath, Gohan nodded sharply, pulling his memories firmly back under control. Dende. Yes, King Kai. Gohan and Piccolo are leaving everyone out of their conversation again, aren't they? King Kai asked. Gohan, Piccolo, is everything alright? Chi-Chi asked. Gohan and Piccolo, finally realizing they had an audience, turned to the others. They were staring at the two of them, perplexed expressions on their faces. Piccolo, I can't remember, was all of that out loud or not? From the looks, I'm thinking no. Everything is fine, Mom. Gohan answered. When are you two leaving? King Kai asked calmly. He was well aware that they were the only ones that stood a chance at even approaching Mayboy due to their psychic protection. As soon as possible, King Kai, Gohan answered. We plan on collecting the Dragon Balls. By wishing ourselves there, we will have the element of surprise on our side. Remember, the dragon would have granted Mayboy 3 wishes. From what I can see, he used the first wish for physical power and the second to increase his psychic ability. But as to the third, I do not know. Hurry and good luck. With that, King Kai's presence faded from the lookout. Chi-Chi rounded on her son. What do you mean you are leaving? You heard him. That creature will possess you the moment you step foot on the planet. Tears filled her eyes as she tried to make her son understand. Gently hugging his mother and brother, Gohan interrupted her. We'll be okay. Tien, Xiaosu, Yamcha. He turned to the unattached warriors. Please look after them for me while we're gone. Don't leave them alone. They nodded slowly at the teen, understanding the full implications of the request. Gohan was not just referring to the duration of the upcoming battle. He was asking for a lifetime commitment should he fail to return. Bulma, I need to go get the dragon radar. Where is it? He asked, turning to the blue-haired beauty. I brought it with me, just in case. She walked over to Gohan and hugged him before handing him the radar. Piccolo, I know kid, it's okay. Piccolo felt what Gohan needed. He could not leave with everyone believing they were going to their deaths. Turning to Dende, Gohan asked. We have to gather the balls. Dende, can you explain enough to make them understand, please? He waited for his friend to nod. Turning back to his family, he kneeled down at his brother's level. Goten, I have to go away for a while to help some old friends. Now, Tien, Xiaosu, and Yamcha are going to take care of you and Mom until Piccolo and I get back. I need you to listen to them. I want you to have lots of fun while I'm gone, okay? I will want to hear all about it when I get back. I love you. Oh okay Gohan. Goten sniffled. His big brother had never been gone more than the occasional trip with Piccolo and it never felt like this. Rising, Gohan hugged his mother. I love you Mom, we'll be back before you know it. Chi-Chi nodded while returning his hug, her voice failing her. Moving as one, Piccolo and Gohan leapt off the edge of the lookout. Gohan tucked his unruly emotions to the side, they had work to do. The silence was thick and heavy on the lookout after they left. Shaking, Chi-Chi turned to Dende, explain. Dende nodded glumly, he was not looking forward to this. Just a moment please. Baba, can you hear me? Yes I can hear you Dende, what do you want? Baba answered, her tone disgruntled. Please come to the lookout, we may need your help. Dende assumed that the grumble he heard was a yes. Turning his attention back to Chi-Chi, he wondered how he was supposed to explain her son's unique situation. Why did you call that Baba person? Vegeta asked. Oh, Baba is a gifted fortune teller. With her crystal ball, we will be able to watch the battle. Dende answered, grateful for the distraction. Dende answers, now, how is it that King Kai said that this Mayboy person can possess anyone, but he was fine with Gohan and Piccolo going? Because, no one can enter Gohan's or Piccolo's mind, not even King Kai. They are protected from any outside psychic intrusions. Dende said carefully. How did Cockabrat manage that one? Glaring at Vegeta for a moment, Krillin turned to the Guardian. Is this about what happened that night? Yes, Krillin, though that wasn't the true beginning. Facing Chi-Chi once more, Dende began, 6 years ago. Chi-Chi sat in the garden, staring blankly at the delicate flowers. She knew everyone was watching her, waiting for her to do something. Looking to the side, she saw Trunks and Goten chasing each other, laughing. Mr. Popo was a silent guardian standing next to them. She knew they would be fine. It was Gohan that she wasn't so sure about. Dende had explained to her that her son and Piccolo had somehow joined their minds. He had been unable to tell her how or why it had happened. While the reason for it may have been unclear, the result was not. According what he had told her, the two shared every thought and emotion, at all times. She had the strangest feeling that Dende was not telling her something important. There had been a definite uneasiness about him. Suddenly Chi-Chi started laughing, startling the others present. She put a hand to her mouth, trying to stifle the noise, but it burst forth regardless of her intentions. Chi-Chi, are you okay? Bulma asked concerned, walking over to her. Nodding, Chi-Chi continued to laugh. Think about it, Bulma, their minds are linked, do you know what that means? Shaking her head, Bulma hoped that Chi-Chi was not about to crack. I sent Piccolo to school. There was a brief moment of silence and then everyone erupted into fits of laughter. Each one picturing the Namekian warrior, sitting in a desk with a schoolbook in hand. Arriving at the lookout, Baba snorted at the laughing group. Well, I'm here, Dende, what do you need? Thank you, Baba. Dende bowed politely to the small pink-haired witch. Piccolo and Gohan have to travel to New Namek to face a threat. I was hoping you would help us by keeping track of them on your crystal ball. Nodding to the Guardian, Baba slid off her perch and focused on finding the traveling warriors. As Gohan's image came into focus, those watching leaned in with rapt attention. Where's Piccolo? Probably off after a different ball. Think about it, if they share thoughts, then they can see the radar through the other's eyes. Chi-Chi could hear the murmur of conversation around her, but could not place who was speaking. All of her attention was focused on the lone figure reflected within the ball's depths. Gohan glanced at the radar once again. He was confident that he was in the right place, but the endless expanse of ice and snow was daunting. Slowly powering up, he allowed the heat of his aura to melt the ice below him. Finally, after going down several feet, the little orange ball came into focus. That makes all 7. Yeah, remember that island I passed on my way down here, Piccolo? Meet you there, kid. Setting down on the tiny island, Gohan waited for Piccolo. However, he supposed that calling it an island was being extremely generous. It was no more than a bit of sand, maybe 20 feet in diameter, protruding from the ocean. Piccolo landed next to Gohan and quickly shed his cape and turban. They each placed their Dragon Balls onto the hot sand. Care to do the honors? Piccolo offered, knowing Gohan had never summoned the dragon himself before. By your name I summon thee, arise Shenron. Gohan called out. The sky darkened and a lightning filled the air as the dragon Shenron once again graced Earth's sky. Choose your words wisely, mortal. I will grant any 2 wishes that are within my power. Shenron's deep voice boomed out. Shenron, can I describe the wish to you first? Gohan asked. The dragon growled at him irritably but did not refuse. Piccolo and I need to be transported to New Namek together. We want to arrive at the same location and it must be several miles away from anyone else on the planet. Is that within your abilities? Yes. Okay. That is the only wish we need. After you grant it, can you return into the Dragon Balls even though we will be gone? For me to do so without you present would take the second wish. Nodding, Gohan turned to Piccolo. Together, they cast a small key sphere around them in preparation. Okay Shenron, please grant those 2 wishes. Emitting a low growl, Shenron's eyes glowed a sinister blood red. Suddenly Gohan and Piccolo felt a strange sense of disorientation as the world spun away. When the world snapped back into focus, they looked around their new surroundings. Chi-Chi gasped quietly in shock. They had not expected the dragon to need 2 wishes to complete the task. The balls were nothing more stones scattered across the earth now. They could not wish them back for an entire year. Yamcha shot up suddenly. Looking at his companions, he said anxiously, we taught the Nameks how to sense ki while they were here. That means the moment the dragon granted the wish, the entire planet's population would be alerted to their presence. Goten said cheerfully, Gohan's too smart for that. He and Mr. Piccolo are in a bubble. Vegeta's eyes narrowed on the chibi. Brat, do you mean the barrier your brother uses to block ki? Yep, Mr. Vegetable, Big Brother told me about it yesterday. Vegeta glared irritably at the boy. He was 5 years old already, surely, he could say Vegeta instead of Vegetable. Scowling, he pushed the issue to the side. Did he tell you how it works? Goten screwed his face in concentration, before sadly shaking his head. Piccolo told me a little bit about it yesterday. Bulma said. He came over after no one could find them. Apparently the two of them figured out how to form a solid barrier that not only blocks your, she gestured to the Z warriors around her, ability to sense ki, but was also able to fool a scouter. How is that even possible? Tien asked. Bulma shrugged helplessly. Piccolo had not explained. Gohan pulled something similar on that class trip. It was the strangest sensation. I couldn't sense anything around me. Krillin interjected. But that's a good thing, right? Chi-Chi asked, desperate for reassurance. I mean, no one can tell they are there, and they are inside of a protective shield. Tien crouched down beside her and took her hand. For now, yes, it sounds as though they are safe. But, sighing, he looked into her eyes. If this bubble of theirs is solid, then they will have to drop it at some time. Chi-Chi inhaled sharply. She knew that, but that didn't make it any easier to hear. Gripping Tien's hand tightly, she turned her attention back to the ball. It is beautiful here, Piccolo. The dragon had transported them to a small island about a mile away from a large landmass. The shaggy blue grass rippled around their feet, teased by the balmy wind. The bright bowl of sky above them a calm pale green with puffy yellow clouds reminiscent of the nimbus. Gohan felt a shiver work its way up his spine. The serenity of their surroundings felt almost eerie due to the taint he could feel upon the very air. Piccolo grunted in acknowledgement. New Namek was very similar to the brief glimpse he had gotten of the original planet. He could feel Nail's personality leaping in recognition. Extending their senses out in opposite directions, they scanned the planet. Piccolo was the first to run across one of the villages. The Namekian's energy felt hazy, almost muddy, nothing like it should have. Everyone in the village had a similar feel. Common ki seemed to be linking them. The entire planet is coated in that ki. Piccolo growled, baring his fangs. Do you feel that? Gohan pulled Piccolo in a different direction almost half a world away. Either most of the population is concentrated there or, he's there. Thank you for watching this episode. Be sure to like and subscribe to never miss another exciting story. Next episode will be out soon.